You fuck, man.
Even the LiveWire ONE can't fix stupid. This is a Harley-Davidson LiveWire laying on its side in the middle of the intersection. Even though it had the most advanced motorcycle stability control in the world, which is the Bosch MSC, you can't save a new rider from dropping the bike after it has come to a stop. Now what this video is about is the LiveWire 6-axis IMU by Bosch. What it is there's a device on the left. It's attached to the motorcycle, and on the right hand side it shows all the different axes that the IMU can sense. So it's roll, pitch, and yaw, and it also can do acceleration, deacceleration, tire speed, the whole thing. So this is the unit that goes inside the motorcycle that gives you the advanced stability control, or motorcycle stability control by Bosch. Now, getting this on a motorcycle is a very long and expensive process. There's three main parts to it. First of all, the motorcycle OEM has to qualify by paying a large licensing fee up front, along with ongoing royalties in the future. Now, by a large licensing fee, I'm talking like $1 million, lots of money they have to pay up front. The actual cost of the unit on the motorcycle can be anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000 per motorcycle. So this is not a cheap device. Takes a lot of money up front, takes a lot of ongoing money for the licensing fees and the sensors put on the motorcycle. When you do this, then Bosch provides the OEM with a development kit which needs to be integrated into the motorcycle at the beginning of the design process. So what this means is you can't have a motorcycle that's already out there and just tack on some sensors and get stability control. It has to be designed into the bike up front, and it has to be done as part of the original design process. So you have to know going in that you want to do this. After you get the motorcycle designed with all the parts and everything that Bosch sends you, what you have to do then is you have to ship the bike to the Flat Rock Proving Grounds in Michigan, and it has to be tested for a long time, about 6 to 10 months. And in this amount of time, they're doing every possible surface, uphill, downhill, wet, dry, gravel, the whole thing, you name it. It has to be mapped. Now, the mapping is similar to what you would do like if you're doing a remapping on a gas bike for like the amount of fuel mixture, where you run it on the dyno at different speeds and adjust the mixture. It's that type of thing. They run the motorcycle at different speeds, different banking, different braking levels, and they map it so that the thing stays solid on the ground and doesn't wheelie and do all kinds of things. Now, after you've done all this, you put in the money, you've designed the bike, and you've got it tested and mapped, you have to look at what you're getting for the money. And this is what you're getting for the money. You're getting linked ABS brakes. So what that means is when the bike is, going straight, you get fast controlled stopping. The wheels don't skid. You can stop quickly. Now, in the old days, the ABS didn't work very well, in my opinion. Sometimes it let off too hard, or didn't work right. It's so good right now that you can't even tell that it's working. You can mash the brakes and the bike comes to a stop without skidding or squealing or sliding around or anything. Works really well. The second thing you get is traction control. Now what that does is that prevents the back wheel from stepping out under hard acceleration and causing the bike to high side. That's what you see at the racetrack sometime, where the rider gets thrown over the top of the bike. You can basically roll the throttle full on in a corner, and the bike will not spin out. It'll maintain and be planted on the road. Now there's a second type of traction control which they call brake torque traction control, and that means when you roll off the throttle and you've got a lot of regen braking set on the motorcycle, it'll prevent the back tire from spinning out as you're trying to deaccelerate. So you get two different kinds of traction control on an electric bike. You get the traction control when you accelerate, and then when you deaccelerate with the regen. Next, you get wheelie control. This prevents the loss of steering when you're hard on the gas, because it keeps the front wheel on the ground, and can also keep you from flipping the bike over backwards if you get up in a wheelie and can't control the thing. So it keeps the front tire on the ground. You've also got stopping control. Now what this means is that under hard braking, you keep the rear tire on the ground. So you're not balancing the bike on the front tire. It keeps the rear tire on the ground to keep the bike straight. And then lastly, and probably most importantly, you get cornering control. Now what this means is that if you put on the brakes while in a corner, the bike will not fall down, it won't low side, and at the same time it'll prevent you from running wide in the corner. Now many accidents are caused because motorcyclists come too fast into the corner, they put on the brakes, they go wide, and they have an accident. So it fixes that problem. So you are getting a lot for the money. Now, in terms of electric bike manufacturers, you have to look at who's got this. And in order of adoption, how it was first done on electric motorcycles, the LiveWire ONE was the first one to do it in 2019. Shortly after that, the Zero SRF came out with it also in 2019. Later, the Zero SRS had it. And then lately, the new Energica Xperia has it. So the new big touring bike from, or I guess it's, it's an adventure touring bike from Energica. The Xperia is the first Energica model to have the 6-axis IMU from Bosch. And then later on this year, the LiveWire Del Mar has also got the 6-axis IMU. Now, they're not advertising that they have it at this point, but I've looked at the bike very carefully and looked under the seat and everything else, and all the sensors are there. It definitely has it. So it's really cool that LiveWire is going to do that on their entry-level bike, the Del Mar. Now, my experience has been that this is so important and such a good system that you really should not buy a bike without it. So electric bike or not, it's my opinion that you need to buy a motorcycle that's got this on it. There's a complete list of all the motorcycles with the Bosch Motorcycle Stability Control at the web address I've shown there. As of 2020, most of the big Harley-Davidson motorcycles have it. It's a great system. I believe that it saves lives, and I'm going to show you an example of a motorcycle that has it and a motorcycle that doesn't have it and what happens. Okay, the bike in the back has a 6-axis IMU. It's a BMW S1000RR. He's going to go by this bike. He's going to be coming too fast into a turn and lose control. So there's the right turn. He's going too fast. The bike jumps around. The IMU saves him by modulating the brakes and taking care of everything. Now the bike in the back does not have an IMU, and there it is. He puts on the brakes in the turn. The bike high sides him, throws him in front of a car. So let's see that again in slow motion. This is what would happen to the LiveWire if it did not have a 6-axis IMU. He's in the corner, puts on the brakes. Look at that. The bike jumps around, throws the rider over the top, down on the ground. Now there is a current LiveWire owner in Malibu who did this on his Ducati before he bought his LiveWire. And this is easy to do if you're in a corner on a regular motorcycle and you hit the brakes too hard. The bike either throws you over the top or low sides.